Okay, well, looks like 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. And I'd like a motion, please, to adopt the agenda. Blanchette, and yes?
Could we have an amendment to the agenda, please?
Certainly.
Under new business, we would like to include rescinding signing authorities.
Okay.
And rescinding 2 appointments to the Library Expansion Committee, and include nominees or appointments to some external boards and committees, including CBT, CRT, NDIT, and OVAC.
Okay. So do I have copies of the...
I hope so. It should be this.
Yes, I've got that one. Okay. So you will read those out when we get there. What under new business? Okay.
Yes.
Wherever you've got it somewhere. All right. So I should like a motion then to adopt the agenda as amended. Okay, Blanchette and Salt. Are there any further additions or deletions or amendments? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Adoption of the minutes of the November 25th, 2014 regular meeting. Okay, Blanchette and Salt. Are there any corrections?
A correction under council reports. It's indicating Councillor Latimer noted that she had attended the following meetings on behalf of council. She was mentioned twice. The second time was actually Councillor Salt.
Oh, which page is this?
On page 6 of the minutes.
Okay, just a moment, please. This is the November 25th?
The November 25th, yes.
Page 6.
Page 6. So it's listing community forest unveiling ceremony of cenotaph. That was actually Councillor Salt, not Councillor Latimer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any further errors or omissions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor then? Adoption. Delegations, none. Okay, correspondence for action. We have a letter from Varda. Motion to receive, please. Okay, Blanchette and Torgerson. And it's open for discussion. They are requesting a waiving of the community hall rentals for the Mountain Mania banquet to be held on January the 24th.
Who is the, I just have a question, please, Your Worship.
Who is the host club?
Varda.
Varda? I find that with profits being made and the host club splitting the profits, I have a no vote to waive those fees.
Okay. Councillor Salt?
I'm definitely in support of this event and what it brings to the community. However, I'd like to suggest, at least should the rest of council wish to go ahead with waiving the fees, I would like to suggest and see Varda secure sponsorship funding through other organizations to help pay for these kind of events for rental of halls and everything. Through the Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association, we did that. There are many organizations out there that are willing to help sponsor events such as these, such as CBT, such as Kinder Morgan. All they ask is for recognition for their sponsorship. Regional District has their grant funding as well. So I would really like to see some of these organizations start applying to some of those other sources as well. The village can't continue to waive fees. We're held accountable. We received funding from NDIT to do these renovations. We have to do annual reporting to NDIT to support that funding, to show increased revenues, increased job creation, and we can't show that if we're constantly waiving the fees. So, like I said, I'm absolutely in favor of this event and supporting in any way we can. I just need it to be known that in the future we need to make sure these groups know that they can secure other funding as well.
Thank you.
I agree with Councillor Salt.
Okay. If there's no further discussion under receipt, all in favor of receipt of the request? Carried. And I guess we don't have a negative motion in place, so we'll just receive it.
Could receive it.
Did you, how can we, there's no way that we can have a negative motion, is there? Just under receipt, it was, yes,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
Your Worship, there is no staff. We consider waiving the community hall rental fees.
I'm going to ask for a motion, please, to grant it, and then you can vote no under the granting. Okay, so motion then, Salt and Torgerson, to consider the grant. Okay, and is there any further discussion under the consideration of the grant? Hearing none, all in favor of granting it? Opposed? Okay, that's carried. Item 6.2, mental health support for local youth. I think the procedural policy has probably changed in recent years, because we always used to make a motion to receive something and then go on to make the motion of whatever council wanted. So if this is the way the procedure now, I can just continue with it instead of asking for a motion to receive. Is that
what the procedure we've been following
Yes.
in the current procedural bylaw
It's
is
just-
that it's received if there is no action to be followed
Okay,
up on.
all right.
If there is an action, then that is
Okay.
the motion.
All right, so we have the mental health support for local youth with correspondence from our doctor and high school teacher and several others. And the staff recommendation is that council supports the request in their efforts to address mental health support for initiatives for local youth. Moved by Councillor Reimer and seconded by Councillor Blanchette, that council give a letter of support, and I'm sure that they will ask if they require anything further. Okay. Any discussion or questions?
The big part of this is, I'm on this committee, it's just so that the village is aware of how serious this problem is, and to have that support and partnership shared, and if they need anything, they'll ask.
Okay. Okay, so no further discussion, all in favor? Carried. Referral of the proposed Site C Dam project to the BC Utilities Commission. The recommendation here, I'll take a motion and a seconder that council considers the December 2nd, 2014 correspondence. Okay, Blanchette and Torgerson. And it's open for discussion. Are any questions that you may have?
I would just like to bring to the surface other alternatives to Site C. That some of these alternatives were not in light of BC Hydro's background search, and that we support the District of Hudson's Hope letter to Minister Bill Bennett.
I second that.
Okay. So what you are considering is that the BC Utilities Commission be granted time up to a year to bring research report.
That is it, yes.
Okay. That's clear? Okay. Is there any further discussion on this? All in favor? Carried. 2014 to 15 village appointment to the Varda Board. And I believe we appointed Councillor Torgerson last evening. So,
This would be for receipt only then.
okay, so motion to receive. Blanchette and Salt. Any further remarks? You're quite happy to be there, aren't you? And they're going to be happy to have you there.
We're going to have a fabulous time.
I was going to say, you're going to have to answer to that.
I think he was quite prepared, otherwise he wouldn't have spoken up first. All in favor? Carried. In the reading file, motion to receive the reading file, please. Okay, Blanchette and Reimer. And is there anything that council wishes to bring forward?
I would like to bring out the ambulance house numbering letter.
Yes.
My daughter is a paramedic. She's had a few calls where she has not been able to get to the people because she cannot read their house numbers. We do have a bylaw in place saying how big and how visually the house number should be. So it's really important if you call any of our 911 numbers, you want them to be able to find you. So just please remember, take a look outside, make sure you can see your house numbers, your neighbors. Look out for each other. Okay.
I have an issue, not an issue, just a question in the Trans Mountain project reconfiguration.
Okay, is there any action to be taken on this? There is a copy of the bylaw here.
I'm wondering if we could refer this to our bylaw enforcement officer.
Sorry.
As this is definitely a problem.
Yeah.
I myself have even, as I've been driving through town trying to locate certain residences for other issues, have found many residential addresses are not marked, and it definitely is a problem. So I'm wondering if we could refer it to our bylaw enforcement officer.
And when do the invoices go out for the utilities? And I think that would be a good time to put a newsletter in at that time. Okay.
Are all the numbers on the avenues now, or are there still some that are on the streets?
I don't know. I think
They're all by avenue, I think. Like you're going up Dogwood and there's 2 houses sitting there, I think they're by the street.
Yeah, because there used to be a few that were still by the street address instead of the avenue address. That all get changed over?
There's some still by street.
Yeah.
Some still have a street?
I would say
They should all be.
I believe there are.
There's quite a few by street.
Yeah.
Are there? No, but were they, so if it's on a corner, say on the corner of 4th and Dogwood, that should be a corner of 4th, shouldn't it, or is that still?
It depends where the access to the property is.
Okay.
there is a map of the village of Valemount that has all the numbers of the addresses on it.
Okay.
I saw it at Yellowhead Realty years ago, and I'm sure there must be the same map here somewhere.
Okay.
But I think if the, I would like it included in our motion that newsletter go out with the, a notice go out with the utility bills to ensure that they have their house numbers up. Okay?
Is there a possibility that we could share said map with emergency services? Is there a privacy issue here, or is there a...
They can buy a map of the village of Valemount and put the numbers in themselves if they want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Okay. Did you want to comment on that now?
Are you okay?
Please go ahead, certainly.
There's protocols for the emergency services. They can't arbitrarily use other mapping. They have their
own. Yeah. Very good.
Okay. Yes.
I just have one question. Corporate officer, or sorry, Chief Administrative Officer Yanciw mentioned it's dependent on the access. A good example, though, that makes me question is when Councillor Reimer mentioned 4th and Dogwood. That's the courthouse, and it has 2 accesses. So which do you consider, the one off the street or the one off the avenue? That gets tricky.
I would suggest if there's a lane that runs parallel to the address, that it would be a street. If there's no lane, then it should be the avenue, it should be the corner. To be consistent with the other avenues that have corners and have addresses on the corner. There should be consistency.
There should be. Interesting point.
Okay. Anything further? You're ready for the question then. Question, all in favor? Carried.
What about the balance of the reading file? Was there?
I'm wondering if there's anything further that council wishes to bring forward. Yes?
The Trans Mountain expansion project?
Yes.
Reconfiguration?
Yes?
Through this area from Hargrave Road to Blue River pump station, they're considering going from a 36-inch pipe further anchoring as they've been doing to a 42-inch pipe.
Yes, it's in here, in the letter. Yeah.
The village of Valemount has never received further to the letter October 16th with their reasoning. So having this in to council is great, but it's a follow-up from a letter that we've never received before.
Is there?
Can I speak?
Yes, certainly.
Again?
Yes,
Just
of
very
course.
briefly. And I'm sorry, Councillor Torgerson, you probably have not had an opportunity to check the council email yet?
Oh yeah, with Mr. Toth? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Trans Mountain would like to do a briefing on the reasoning behind.
Yeah, nothing in the body of that letter. Just an ICS attachment that was not openable, accessible.
In the email that I forwarded?
Yep.
It was a meeting invitation, so maybe it didn't format properly in your email.
We can review that.
It's a teleconference briefing.
Perfect.
So I have sent it to the 2 members assigned to the Trans Mountain Committee.
Great.
I'll resend it.
My apologies, I couldn't open
Okay.
it.
That's fine.
I was wondering about it.
Anything further? Okay, all in favor of receipt of the reading file? Carried. We had a mover and a seconder for that, did we not?
We had Blanchette and,
Okay, good.
just for clarification, in relation to the BC ambulance house numbering, I think that the mover was Councillor Salt.
Blanchette.
Blanchette.
Yes.
And the seconder was? Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Administrator reports, 8.1. The EDO Mountain Bike Recreation and Tourism Labour Market Assessment Initiative. And the staff recommendation is that council approves the request for a letter of support. Could I have a motion to that effect, please? Councillors Blanchette and Reimer. Okay. 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 Is there any discussion?
Full support.
All right. So, and that's the recommendation, that the request be approved. Yes?
I personally have spoken to Tom Eustace of the Simp First Nation, and he's a very avid mountain biker himself and has even brought youth from the Simp to our areas to do mountain biking, and has been very interested and excited about our plan for our master plan for mountain bike trails. So I fully support this. I think this is a great partnering and to help build our corridor between Barrier and McBride.
Is this a follow-up, or was it commenced when our Member of Parliament started an economic development discussion here a couple of years ago? Was this brought up then with Kathy McLeod?
Kathy McLeod.
Okay.
She worked with, oh gosh, which ministry at the time?
Pat Bell and Shirley Bond.
Bell and Shirley Bond,
Yes.
and that was that
Yes.
initial start of the
Yes,
Barrier
okay.
to McBride corridor.
Good.
Yes, Your Worship.
Well, it's nice to see that there's something happening as a result of that. She'll be pleased. Okay, all in favor? Carried. And we have a report as well from the EDO with respect to the Integrated Community Sustainability Plan. And staff recommendation is that council accepts the report for information purposes. So could I have a motion to that effect? Torgerson and Reimer. Any discussion?
It was a long time. It was a long time ago, and it was a long time planning that.
A lot of work went into that.
Okay. Anything further? No more discussion, all in favor? Carried. Director of Finance Accounts Payable Monthly Report for November 2014. Staff recommendation is that council accepts the accounts payable report for information purposes. Salt and Blanchette. Are there any questions? Any clarification needed on anything? You have something? No? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Director of Finance, uncollectible tax write-off. The recommendation is that Council approves the following resolution. That the Minister of Community, Sport and Cultural Development be requested to issue an order pursuant to Section 315.3 of the Local Government Act to provide authority to the Council of the Village of Valemount for the write-off of property taxes receivable for the property folio number 750.100 manufacturing romance, etc., 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 as a great king once said in a movie. Okay, so may I have a motion, please? Salt and Blanchette. Is there any discussion? No? No discussion, no questions? All in favor then? Carried. Grant application for the Business Facade Improvement Program. The staff recommendation is that Council approves a resolution of support for staff's 2015 application to Northern Development Initiative Trust's Business Facade Improvement Program. Okay, Blanchette and Salt. Is there any discussion or any questions?
I was on this program and it was really well received. We had 3 really good businesses, thank you, yeah. Home Hardware, the brewery, and Office Infinity. So if you haven't seen them, have a look. They turned out really nicely. So it'll be great to do it for next year. And we're hoping that they're going to expand a bit their criteria.
Okay. Anything further? All in favor? Carried. The Community Initiatives Program Committee and Community Foundation Fund Committee.
8.6?
8.6.
Oh, no, we're at 8.6 now.
Yeah.
That's, oh, it says Community Initiative Committee and Community Foundation Fund Committee.
The advisory planning commission.
Oh, okay.
Odd.
Well, I have the Advisory Planning Commission as 8.7.
Oh, okay.
That is really weird.
That is weird because
Oh, that's
I can see
okay.
the order mine's in, but
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Is the order reversed?
it really is. It's reversed.
Yeah,
That's-
8.7.
I saw something like this earlier,
That is the oddest
but,
thing.
That's all right.
okay.
It doesn't bother me any. I hope everybody else is all right with it.
If I may, all I can say is that it bothers me a great deal.
From a software perspective, it's concerning.
You know, nobody's perfect. And
It's the
these things
software.
it's the software. Of course it is. Of course it is. All right, so let's deal with the, which do you want to deal with first? Do you want to go according to my agenda?
You are
All right.
mayor.
So the Community Initiative Program Committee and Community Foundation Fund Committee. Staff recommendation is that Council invite existing members of the committee to serve on it for a 1-year term and approve advertising seeking applications from the public for membership on the Community Initiatives Committee and the Community Foundation Fund Committee. Are there any committee members who want to be relieved for a year or so, or?
I was going to ask if we knew if anybody wanted to
Yes.
step down, or do everybody want to continue on?
At last meeting in my citizen role, there was no one wanting to take a step back.
Okay. Could I ask who's on that committee? Yes?
Bill Christelbrink, Arnold Weed, Ray Mikalash,
Rita Ruerts.
Rita Ruerts. We had council appointment. I was-
Myself,
and
I
yourself.
resigned.
Yeah.
So we need to fill,
Dorothy LaFleur was there, but then she stepped back,
Yes.
Okay.
and we proceeded with 5.
Your worship, it's quite heavy to, quite an imbalance there.
Yes.
Technically, the charter requires 50% council members.
Okay, so Councillor Blanchette is already appointed to that, and who else did we appoint?
Did you get appointed again?
I don't
it
have
was
the...
Councillor Torgerson.
Councillor Torgerson? Okay, so there we go.
Yeah.
I think that was ratified last evening. Okay, so, yes, and you want to advertise for how many additional members?
Actually,
So,
Councillor Solhead.
right, so does it have to be 50%, 50-50? for the CIP?
charter says.
Yeah, as
The charter
seven
says.
committees, we actually need another council member to be appointed.
Okay.
Or fewer.
Councillor Salt, do you want back on?
I just know that Bill Crisselbrink and Arnold Weed were willing to remain on for this next year as well, just so that they could bring anyone new stepping on up to speed for continuity with the program. So I know they definitely said that they would stay on for this next year still.
Oh, for sure.
So,
And Mr. Crisselbrink was Columbia Basin Trust Board Director for some time.
right, he has vast experience
Yes, he
with
does.
the CBT and has
Yes.
been a valuable member.
So does that mean there are 2 members from the public and 2 from council?
4, I have 4
Right
from
now we have
public.
4 from the public, yeah, we now have 4 from the public.
Unless you choose.
And yet you're saying it has to be 50/50?
The one-year terms are off.
So it's a standing committee.
It is the.
Okay. Maybe we need to look at that in future. Okay. So if Mr. Crisselbrink and Mr. Weed are prepared to stay on, and we have 2 councillors on there, is that,
That would be fair.
okay, does that meet with council's approval? And it meets the
So the
criteria?
other 2 citizens, their 1-year terms are up? Is that correct? Okay.
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 So if we have Mr. Crisselbrink and Mr. Weed, and we have councillors Blanchette and Torgerson, then we don't need to advertise for more, do we?
Not for that committee.
No, not for the CIP.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I was thinking of another committee.
Okay, so now we look at the Community Foundation Fund Committee. Yes?
Before we move on though.
Okay.
We needed a motion on this.
I'll make a motion on it.
Okay. Okay, so moved by Councillor Blanchette and seconded by Councillor Reimer,
Okay. Thank you.
that Mr. Crisselbrink and Mr. Weed and Councillors Blanchette and Torgerson be on the CIP committee.
Do we need an all in favor?
There's no further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Now, a motion to approve advertising, seeking applications from the public for the membership on the Community Foundation Committee. We will leave out the CIP committee there. Okay? Salt and Torgerson.
I need help.
Okay? Okay.
You don't need.
Yeah, but we need help on that.
Okay. We don't have anybody there now?
No, it's just Councillor Saltline.
Okay.
It's a brand new committee.
And so we need 2 from the public?
We had, sorry, Your Worship.
Yes.
We had solicited advertising, oh gosh, in the spring, I believe it was. Or late spring, early summer, and did we even receive 1 reply?
We received one who refused to fill out the application form.
So yeah,
Well, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with recruiting. Especially if you recruit someone who is qualified and will do a good job. That's what I mean, is the qualifications. All right. So if there's no further discussion under advertising to
Do
the
we want to
public.
try advertising one more
Or-
time?
yeah, definitely, I
Yes,
would
we
say so,
should.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. No further discussion, all in favor? Carried.
Point of clarification, who moved and seconded this?
I think it was Blanchette
I
and
think,
Salt.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my 8.7. Yeah. Says the Advisory Planning Commission membership. The staff recommendation is that council reappoint Dan Kenkel and Paul Johnson to the Advisory Planning Commission for a 1-year term and approve advertising for new Advisory Planning Commission members. Okay, motion please, Blanchette and Torgerson. And that's open for discussion. Yes?
I see we have one of the members here.
Yes, he is present, and I understand that he has already agreed.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Paul.
Okay. And how many more do you need?
The commission, under the bylaw, is comprised of 6 members.
Okay,
I think we would be short only one with
One.
Councillor Torgerson leaving.
Yeah.
Well, he was not councillor then.
okay,
Because the others are 2-year terms, right?
okay, that's correct, okay. So you need just one?
I believe so.
Okay. Sorry, Councillor Reimer, what was that?
No, sorry, I had asked him a question.
She asked me a question.
Oh, okay. And I believe Councillor Reimer was appointed to the APC on behalf of council.
That's what I was trying to remember.
Yes, yes, okay. So we still need one more member,
Yes.
Okay. Well then, if it's all right with council, I would just ask that the staff be approved to advertise for a new member. Okay? No further questions? All in favor? Carried. All right. Monthly staff report. Staff recommendation that council accepts the November 2014 staff report for information purposes. Okay. Reimer and Blanchette. And are there any questions? Looks like everybody's busy. I got a chuckle from our corporate secretary here. Are there any questions or is there any discussion? I think with respect to the lift stations and the federal and the grants, it says applying.
With respect to the lift stations.
Yes, on page 71. It says the grantor is federal and the grant status is applying.
Is there an update on what is happening to the lift station and where that is, where that whole situation is at? Can we get an
Would you like me
update on
to?
it?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. Are you speaking of the lift station at Dogwood and
Yes.
8th?
That's
Yes.
my understanding, that that's a lift station in question for the grant,
The grant,
correct? Or
we're hoping to apply for 2 lift stations.
for 2 lift stations?
2 lift stations. The lift station at Dogwood and 8th, it was one electrical component that had failed on that. So we've ordered a new electronic control panel. It has to be custom built, so we're expecting it to arrive in a week or 2, and we should be able to install that electronic control panel. So that's a really solid interim step. It actually extends the life of that lift station considerably. And it's also a component that can be used if there's a lift station upgrade. We can transfer that component over to a new lift station.
Anything further? That answers your question, Councillor Reimer?
Yeah, that answered my question in that particular lift station for now. Did I see a figure of $400,000?
That is, it can be a lift station replacement amount or a lift station cost if you're expanding the capacity of your lift station. To replace a lift station where you're not changing the capacity is considerably less, in the maybe 140.
Okay.
Depending on the size of the lift station, anywhere from about 90 to 140 probably.
Similar to the last one that we built, let's do it here.
Probably, yeah. But it's when you expand the capacity that the costs go up considerably. So that's where the 400 came from.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Anything
you.
further?
Not right now.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question with respect to the boundary expansion study. It says that an analysis continues of the 4 basic boundary expansion options. Is it a lengthy answer? Or should we leave it for during the day? Orientation. Sure.
I can give you a brief answer.
Okay, good.
The proponent has approached the village for a boundary expansion.
Yes.
And we're assessing the different options, which include status quo,
Yes.
leaving the development within the regional district rather than within
Yes.
the village, doing a satellite extension, doing a contiguous extension, which means all the way around, or doing a satellite extension to only the base area.
Okay.
So those are the 4 options that are
Okay.
being mentioned. We're doing a lot of the pre-work to reduce the costs when we hire a consultant to do that extension. If the village does decide to do an extension, in order to meet the ministry criteria, we have to have a study. You probably are familiar with that.
Yes.
But, so we, both for the village's decision-making purposes
Yes.
and for the possibility of an extension,
Okay.
we need to do that study.
Okay.
We have funding for a study, but to ensure that that funding will actually cover the costs of a consultant, we're doing a bunch of pre-work on that.
Okay.
And that pre-work is being done by the regional district, the village, and the ministry. A couple of branches of the ministry
Okay.
are helping us.
That's good.
To refine those prior to it going to a consultant.
In their considerations, are they considering the financial impact on the taxpayers, existing taxpayers of the village?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. That's my main concern. Okay,
yeah, that's big.
at this time. Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything further that council wishes to bring forward with respect to the village report? Hearing none, all in favor of receipt? Carried. Okay, bylaws and policies, 10.1, Village of Valemount Council Remuneration Bylaw. Staff recommendation is that council review attached bylaw number 707, and if required, request specific amendments to the benefit package and remuneration provided to mayor and council. Motion to receive this for discussion and review, Blanchette and Torgerson. Okay. Any questions? Any comments?
Just an education comment. Just the spelling of councillors throughout the entire bylaw.
1L?
Really?
Thank you. See, no matter how many times I read things, I still miss them.
Yeah.
It's true, yes.
Okay.
If I was Mrs. Norley, I'd have a red pen.
Yes, yes, you certainly would. Yeah. My iPhone argues with me all the time. That's right. I put 2 L's and it comes up with 1, and I change it, and it changes me, and I change it back, and I win in the end. So, okay. All right. So if there is nothing that council wishes to review about it, we just leave it for receipt, do we?
If council is
Yes.
happy with the bylaw as it exists
Okay.
for the 2015 year,
Okay.
then absolutely you can leave it simply for receipt.
Okay.
If there are amendments you'd like to make.
Okay. I just want to say that with respect to the extended health premiums and dental premiums, I would not take that. There are taxpayers in Valemount who cannot afford it, and I don't see mayor or council taking taxpayers' money to pay for extended health or dental. So I would eliminate that altogether. Okay.
So this is up for discussion, is it?
Yes, it is.
So when it says that we're eligible for paid, does that mean that 100% of it is paid? Is that the idea?
Yes, I believe so. Were you a participant?
I believe it was, yeah. I believe so. I don't recall if it was any deducted off or not.
Is that regardless of how many participate, or
Pardon me?
is that regardless of how many councillors
There
participate?
is a minimum number. They will only extend benefits to elected officials if a minimum of 3 participate.
I don't participate in any of the benefits.
I wouldn't either. Count me out.
I've only been on the job 1 day, so
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I don't, dental to me is a waste of time, always has been as far as insurance is concerned. dental premiums are really not an insurable thing to start with. Because insurance companies charge premium plus to make up anything plus profit for any dental expenses. If you pooled all the dental premiums and added it up at the end of the year, you'd probably have money to spare after everybody got done doing their dental work. Yeah, so I wouldn't be interested in participating in this.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yes.
Mayor Townsend, we have
Yes.
a motion,
Yes.
but it would appear that the bylaw before you is going to change somewhat, or potentially. I just wanted to point this out.
Okay. And
We haven't got a,
Doesn't the bylaw
The
talk about?
bylaw can change,
Yeah, yeah.
or can stay as such, but we don't have to participate in said program.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay. So, bylaw number 707 could just leave the stipend in place and remove the benefit package. Is that correct?
We could leave this benefit package in here because if 3 councillors choose not to participate, it simply is not available then.
Okay.
We don't even need to change the bylaw.
It's controlled by Pacific Blue Cross.
That's correct.
They base it on the number of participants, and if they don't get enough participants, they don't allow it.
Okay. Well, I would not be in favor of it regardless.
Unless you would
Yeah.
prefer the bylaw
Yeah,
amended.
that's right. And we can always do that next year if you prefer. But as I said, there are people in Valemount who are taxpayers who cannot afford Pacific Blue Cross or extended health care benefits as well as dental. And I would not ever want to see, staff is different. But for mayor and council to use taxpayers' money for a benefit package, I couldn't support that.
Shall we amend the bylaw to remove that clause?
How does council feel about that? You would move? Okay. Okay. Okay, moved by Councillor Torgerson and seconded by Councillor Blanchette that the bylaw be amended to remove the benefits. Is there any discussion?
All in favor?
All in favor, carried. Thank you. All right, Village of Valemount Business License Bylaw number 730. And it is a recommendation that council approves fourth and final reading of the Village of Valemount Business License Bylaw number 730. Is there any discussion or questions regarding the bylaw? It's a long time since I read every word in a bylaw. And I did today. Any questions or any discussion?
I was
Yes.
heavily involved in this, the creation of this bylaw.
Okay.
And I would just like to say thank you to the other members of the Advisory Planning Commission.
Okay. So could I have a motion then for fourth reading? Reconsider and adoption? Okay, Salt and Blanchette. Any discussion on this? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right, and Village of Valemount zoning bylaw amendment. And this too is fourth reading, reconsideration and adoption. Moved by Councillor Blanchette and seconded by Councillor Salt that Village of Valemount zoning bylaw amendment number 731, 2014 for home-based businesses be reconsidered and adopted. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Village of Valemount permissive tax exemption bylaw number 734, 2014. Council, or rather staff recommendation is that council approve fourth reading. Blanchette and Reimer. Okay, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. New business. I'll let the administrator bring forth that new business agenda item.
Councillor reports?
Oh, yes.
Well, we've got our new business.
We do have a council reports before new business, actually.
Oh, okay.
Does that show up in yours?
It's a travel expense for Councillor Salt, and the staff recommendation is that council accepts the travel expense report for information purposes. Motion, Blanchette and Torgerson. Any questions of Councillor Salt?
How was it?
It's fabulous.
Unfortunately, I did have a whole segment of photos attached to my report as well, but they didn't end up on the agenda, so I don't know if they had trouble, but a very well-received and well-attended event. The Legion members from Barrier attended, and they also performed a portion of the ceremony. This was a project that the CIMC had been working on for a number of years, trying to secure funding. They worked very closely with Urban Systems of Kamloops, and both of the staff from Urban Systems that were very much involved in that project were there as well, and I got to meet them. And really nice to see recognition of even the First Nations people that fought and have defended our borders and our country in the wars and have sacrificed and given their lives as well. So it was really, really nice, very nice.
Good, thank you very much. There's nothing further, all in favor? Receipt carried. Now new business. Madam Administrator.
In order to complete the signing authorities, the financial signing authorities for the 2014 to 2018 council, we need to rescind the appointment of 2 signing authorities from the 2011 through 2014 council.
Okay. Could I have a motion for...
I can't really want to.
Okay, Reimer. Okay. Reimer and Salt. Motion to rescind the 2011 to 2014 signing authority. And do you want it in the same motion to, no, just to rescind. Okay, all in favor? Carried.
The appointment of Hollie, Blanchette and Christine Latimer as signing authorities. Right.
Okay. So now we have, is there anything further under new business? You have one more item, do you not?
We have, we recommend that council rescinds the appointment of 1 councillor from the library expansion.
Okay, okay.
1 should be.
So a motion to rescind the appointment of Councillor Owen Torgerson.
Fully supported.
Yep, okay. From the Valemount Library Expansion Project Committee.
You don't want to be with me on that?
He can move it, can't he?
You can.
Okay, moved by Councillor Torgerson.
I'm not supporting.
Seconded by Councillor Reimer. Pardon?
Can I be put back on? Because it's not, I don't make any decisions. It's a working committee. Any decisions that are made are taken to the board, and I'm not part of the board.
It really doesn't look good as far as conflict of interest.
Okay.
It's the perception.
Okay.
It's always the perception. Even if there is no conflict, it's the perception that counts. Okay. Yes.
I'm sure your board would be happy to have you as a staff attend those meetings anyway. So why don't you ask them?
We'll leave it at that.
And did you need to do these?
Yes.
Well, could we call the question, please?
Yes, okay. All in favor? Carried.
Good job.
So, I should like a motion, please, for nominating and appointing to external boards and committees. 12.3 is to be appointed to the Columbia Basin Trust Board of Directors, and we do have a question about that because it's usually the regional district, Fraser Fort George, that does the appointing. Okay? And they will be putting me on anyway, so.
We can take that one off.
Okay, okay. And it's the 5 regional districts that appoint the Columbia Basin Trust directors.
They do that when CBT goes through their AGM.
It's always done
in March, is it
on
not?
April the 1st.
April 1st.
April 1st, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Perhaps a point of clarification.
Yes.
The benefit, though, of including this on the agenda was to provide a signal as a nominee.
okay,
Yep.
all right, okay. So the Columbia Basin Trust Board nominee, Mayor Townsend, that 12.4, Again, Mayor Townsend be appointed to the Columbia Basin Trust Columbia River Treaty Board of Directors. I'm already on that, but, oh no, sorry, it's not that one. And also, Mayor Townsend be appointed to the Columbia Basin Regional Advisory Committee. I was appointed to that by the minister, and I shall talk to the executive director tomorrow to get her confirmation. And Mayor Townsend be appointed, we did this last night, to the Northern Development Initiatives Trust Board of Directors, as well as to the Ominika Beetle Action Coalition.
Don't they sort of organize their meetings in and around the same time?
As regional district
As regional
board.
district?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Sorry, what's the term
NDIT.
for the second, the
back?
backup person?
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, the alternate?
Thank you.
Yes,
Alternate.
okay.
The
Okay.
term just left me. OBAC and NDIT would also have the same alternate as
Okay.
regional district.
Okay, so that would be Councillor Torgerson. Okay, good. All right, so recommendation then that council approve the 2014 to 15 appointments of council members to the external boards and committees identified in 12.3 through 12.8. Okay, Salt and
And
Blanchette.
minor correction, that should actually read 12.7 at the bottom. Thank you.
12.7? Okay. Okay. 12.7, okay. As corrected, Blanchette, second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
And a point of clarification.
Yes.
Just on 12.6 and 12.7, that Councillor Torgerson.
Be the alternate.
The alternate, thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Can we just go back to council reports, because I didn't get to give mine? It's very short.
Okay.
I met with Lisa Creelman, who is our nurse practitioner in Valemount, who studied at UNBC, and who I sit on the board of directors for the Northern Medical Programs Trust. All the communities give funding to this trust to keep kids practicing in the north and then staying and working in the north. And she was one of our students who is now practicing in our local clinic. She's loving it here, and she just wanted to say thank you. So on behalf of Lisa, she says thank you to the Village of Valemount for the funding that she was given.
Good. That's good. So motion to receive her report. All in favor? Now we have the list of outstanding previous council resolutions to consider. Motion to receive for discussion. Okay, Torgerson, and who wants to second the motion for receipt? Blanchette. All right, is there anything to be brought forward for discussion or any questions arising? Could someone explain to me with the discussion regarding medical marijuana? Preparing a zoning bylaw amendment regarding medical marijuana?
That should have come off a long time ago.
Come off, okay.
Yes, that's been complete, actually. But sometime long before Andrew was responsible for it.
Okay, it just says assigned here.
Corporate officer is relieved.
Oh, good, okay. Okay.
Oh, I check in.
Okay.
Is there such a thing?
Was that done?
That's right.
A zoning bylaw amendment for marijuana,
Is there such
medical
a thing?
marijuana?
Is there such a thing as a zoning bylaw amendment?
Well, that's what it says
For
here.
that, yeah. If it was completed, or was it taken
I
off?
believe that there was a zoning bylaw amendment completed. For, and whatever the requirements would be in order to establish a medical marijuana operation. That the zoning requires actually that it be in an industrial zone, which we don't have any within the village. They would have to apply for a zoning, a rezoning.
It was the APC work done on.
And the other
We do have
alternative.
some industrial land, though, don't we? Over the other side of the CN yards, is that industrial?
We don't have any
Yeah.
land that's
Or is that
actually
That's
zoned
outside the
industrial.
municipal boundary, I believe, the industrial land.
Oh, thought we had
There
a
was one
little
other
chocolate.
alternative for medical marijuana, and I don't remember what the zoning type was, but it required a parcel of a certain size.
And a huge
Okay.
setback if I'm.
A big setback, yeah.
Okay.
And what criteria is used for growers, or whatever they're called? Who establishes that criteria?
Health Canada.
Okay. Okay. And they must have strict regulations.
Essentially, right now, there's no land in the village that would
Okay.
qualify without
Okay.
some sort of a process to.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Anything further? Okay. Is there anything further that council wishes to bring forward here regarding the outstanding council resolutions? Nothing further? Nothing further? All in favor of receipt? Carried. Okay. Calendar of events. A motion to receive that, please. Blanchette and Torgerson. Any questions of the staff? Everybody knows when the office is going to be closed from the 24th of December to January the 5th. Okay. And the Valemount Community Forest meeting, I guess that's Councillors Torgerson and Reimer. Valemount Tourism meeting, that was today. Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor of receipt? Carried.
Who moved and seconded that?
I believe Councillor Torgerson was one of them.
Okay.
Was it Blanchette the other?
For,
To receive this?
Receive the calendar?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
did, Councillor Torgerson, did you go to the tourism meeting?
Sure, certainly didn't.
Oh, okay, I didn't. So it's the second, when are their meetings?
I believe that one's actually been deferred until maybe, I'm not sure. You might want to contact Silvio because it did not occur today.
Okay. So consequently, somebody will advise Councillor Torgerson as to the dates?
Yes.
Okay.
Preferably.
Well, I would hope so.
I'll be busy.
Okay, so if there's nothing further under the regular agenda, I'll take a motion then to proceed to an in-camera meeting.
Public comment?
Public comment.
Yes.
Well, we will discuss that at orientation, but I'll continue it tonight. Okay, so public comment. Is there anybody that wants to make a comment? Okay.
Paul Johnson, 1122 9th Avenue. I'd like to thank you for approving me for another year on the APC, and also congratulations to everybody for winning their term, and good luck in the next 4 years.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Okay. Obviously, they wanted you back to the APC, so Mr. Johnson, you must be doing a good job. Thank you. Okay. Anything further? Well, hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay.
To proceed to.
Blanchette, and we, motion to move in camera. Okay, Blanchette and Salt.